and this is Group 3's midterm progress update for the visual navigation drone. So we're going to touch up on our 3 primary deliverables for the final demo. The first one being that the drone should be able to hover and move in all 3 dimensions, including the X, Y, and Z axis. The second one being that the drone needs to detect and avoid objects by a minimum of 0.3 meters. And the third being that the drone needs to detect target objects within an 80% accuracy and maneuver towards them as well. These could change as we get closer to the final demo depending on our progress, but these are the main ones that we're going to work towards. So for our first deliverable,
before starting the build, I went ahead and placed each component without tying anything down to plan the placement of each item. The major items we see here are the bottom plate, the 4 legs, the top plate, and the Raspberry Pi. We also have the electric speed controllers that are placed underneath each leg, the motors that are placed on top at the bottom of each leg, and the vibration dampening plate, which would be at the bottom of the Raspberry Pi. Here we have just the bottom plate shown with the legs attached. The bottom plate is the power distribution board, so we did go ahead and soldered each of the electric speed controllers to the bottom plate and the power adapter to the bottom plate. And then the motors are going to hook into each electric speed controller. I went ahead and labeled the front side of the drone, and the front side of the drone will be the red legs. So here is shown a very important part of the drone that will stabilize the flight controller and stabilize the single board computer or the Raspberry Pi that we're using. And this is to reduce any vibrations that will occur during flight. So this was built and then mounted on top of the top plate, and then the Raspberry Pi is screwed into the vibration plate as seen in the far right photo. Here we have a closer photo of the Raspberry Pi, the vibration plate, and the top plate with the Pi cam installed onto the Raspberry Pi. The Pi cam does need to be configured with software, so that will occur after the build is complete. And now we have the flight controller, the Pi Hawk, that we chose as our flight controller that was mounted onto the Raspberry Pi. First, we went ahead and mounted on a 3D printer placement holder for the Raspberry Pi and inputted the Pi cam into the camera mount that came with the kit. And this is what the drone looks like currently, with the bottom plate, top plate installed with the computer and the flight controller, as well as the motors installed. Next step would be binding the drone to the remote controlled, because we do need to do that to calibrate all of the electric speed controllers and the motors. So we want to make sure that we're first able to fly the drone with remote control and then go ahead and go into a guided mode application, which would be the autonomous flying. And for our PCB placement planning, we are planning to put the LiDAR on the bottom of the bottom plate. And here we see the dimensions that was given to Kevin to go ahead and plan that LiDAR PCB.
so we've been using Gazebo as our primary application for simulation. So the main goal is just to create 3 spheres, which will be used for image detection. And then once the navigation is done, it should be able to complete all the capabilities that we want for our final demonstration. at least for now, since the drone is still in the works of being constructed. But once the image detection is all done, it should be easily converted into PX4 code, and then we can go from there with that. So I'm currently working on the navigation for the drone using a gazebo and PX4 autopilot. So as of right now, I have the takeoff and the landing flight commands done. And from this point on, I'm going to be focusing on rotation and horizontal movement. And then once those are all completed, we'll be able to integrate the image detection in order to make it all work as a whole. So this is the takeoff and landing demonstration using Gazebo. So for this, I was using PX4 Autopilot, and there are two commands that can be done using the code that I'm using for these flight instructions. So it can be done using Commander Takeoff and Commander Land. So in this video, you'll see that both commands are being used, and the drone will reach a max altitude of 2.5 meters, and then once it hits peak, it will drop back down to the ground. For our second deliverable, we're going to go over the steps that we took to help with object avoidance and object detection, including LiDAR sensors and other software applications.
The first aspect of this avoidance system is the object detection sensors. Now, these are infrared LEDs and photodiodes, and it sends out infrared light and detects how much it gets back, and if it's above a certain threshold, then it'll send a signal to the microcontroller that it is coming close to an object. I've used an IR laser diode, and it's been very effective in increasing the range. However, I'm not sure if it is a good benefit over a typical LED, but that's something I want to continue researching further. But I think it's good where it is because it meets the requirements. So here's a demonstration of the environmental avoidance subsystem. And as you can see, at about a foot away or so is when the trigger activates and we get a high signal. And this way, we will know when an object is coming too close to the drone. And we're likely going to put these on the propellers, which is probably the most important part to be protecting. So now the next part of this is the LiDAR scanner. And this device you can see here is being controlled by a breadboard. That is our format for the PCB, the outline of which I briefly showed in the previous slide. And as of right now, a continuous servo rotates the head around in a circle at a constant speed, and the sensor inside continuously records distance data. Now, right now, it only records numbers, and I want to improve that so we can have an actual point cloud, and we can create an image out of it. And here is the LiDAR scanner. As you can see, the top spins and continuously records the distance data as it turns. Right now, the only thing that it's reading is the distance data, as shown through the coding environment clip in a moment. This data is useful by itself, but by keeping track of the speed of the motor and how often it completes a rotation, we can then use software to combine all of these points into a point cloud, and the drone can use this to see the environment around it, which is ultimately my goal.
Our third deliverable calls for another main function of our project. This is the object detection side of the system. We were given an initial direction by our original sponsor, which led us to choose PyTorch for our machine learning framework. Through initial research, our object detection performance would be determined by the convolutional neural network we chose. Without the ability to test the CNN options we had at the time, we can only make a choice based on how the CNN performed, in use cases similar to our own. This ultimately led us to choose a CNN utilizing a VGG16 configuration. With access to simulation and drone manipulation, we will come to our own conclusion on what model to choose. After we configured our computer for the latest PyTorch setup, we were able to train our model in image recognition and produce results that were going to be obvious. Overfitting occurred because our dataset was too accurate. There was little to no noise behind our objects, and the objects themselves were contrasted with RGB values. This was still an important step that we made and taught us how to manipulate the model as well as the data. Moving forward, we are working on the implementation of the object detection side. This entails annotating our data with bound boxes that would allow the model to draw its own bound boxes on new data. These bound boxes use a coordinate system that we could then communicate to the navigation script to hone in on the object's location. This video that is currently playing is a demonstration of how the model should produce the bound boxes. While this was not produced by the model itself, we have gotten annotations done for our dataset and can create visuals. We are in the process of modifying the model even further to accept these bound boxes as tensors, so we can then make predictions on data. We believe that the real challenge of the object detection may be the power performance when we deploy the model onto the Raspberry Pi. Currently we are running the model with CUDA activated on an NVIDIA 3060 Ti GPU, so we may need to downsize parts of the model in order to function. We will tackle that problem as soon as we can, but going by how everything is going, we should have the ability to take the drone's camera feed as input to our trained model, then it will communicate these predictions to our navigation script. This will cycle until the navigation is completed.
So finally, we're just going to touch up on the remaining tasks that we have for this project, as well as to-do lists for navigation and construction. So as a general overview of what's left, we need to finalize the remaining flight instructions, which are rotation and horizontal movement. The object detection and drone trading needs to be implemented into PX4 code. The remote control navigation that's being used to test the drone's functionality initially needs to be converted into autonomous navigation. And then a basic course needs to be created for the final demo depending on what engineering specifications we want to meet. So for our to-do list for the construction aspect, we need to attach all the remaining components. They're basically all completed, they just need to be attached to create the full drone. The propeller functionality needs to be tested before we can put it into flight. And we also need to ensure that the Pi-Hawk and Pi-Cam modules work with the Raspberry Pi module. But other than that, we should be good to go. So overall, the items that we have in our to-do list will become crucial in order to get everything done in time for the final demonstration. But once one is done, it will be much easier to tie it together with the other ones on the list. Thank you.